Hello everyone and welcome back to Star Trek Online, 23rd century Starfleet. Now, we don't have a mission right now, so let's find out why. We can go into episodes and kind of scroll down here. We can replay these early ones if we wish. And our next episode is Tangled Webs.
Things are heating up with the Tholians. Monitor stations are detecting large fleet movements toward Federation space, and they're refusing all of our diplomatic hails. We're doing all we can to prevent a war, but it's not looking good. I want you to join a task force I'm assembling. If this goes south, I want my best people on the front line when it does.
And we're the best. Okay, that's good to know.
Stay safe out there.
Alright, now we're headed for the unsurveyed territory. Now we can either click this little starburst here to go directly there.
Significant issues with the Tholians at this point in time. I've been scanning the timeline and I think I've found the problem. 2 years ago, a Tholian colonial fleet was destroyed. The Tholians blamed the Federation, and increasing hostilities have ultimately led us here. This is something I'll need your help to correct.
Okay. As I was saying, we could click that little starburst to go right there.
Setting temporal transponder back 2 years. We need to correct the timeline during the Defiance encounter with the Tholians.
Are you done, Daniels? Okay, good. Now, the story has taken a bit of a turn here. It was purely set in the original series, which is back in the 23rd century. Now it's kind of taken a bit of a Enterprise turn. Not the ship, the show. And we're time traveling now. I don't know where we get this technology. I think it's something to do with Daniels. And these little flyby messages, I might be able to get rid of them at some point. They're not important. They don't really refer to us right now. Yeah, the Tholians, they're interesting. They were back in the original series, and I think they were also in Enterprise. But we're going back in time a couple years to see just what happened. Because I think those Nakul agents that we encountered, I think it was last mission, they probably had something to do with it. Now, I also mentioned a little while back about the different cultures between the Tellarites and the Vulcans. The Tellarites, they do make exceptional diplomats, mainly because they're very aggressive when it comes to starting a discussion. And the Vulcans actually like to talk more than fight, so they're quite happy to just respond to whatever the Tellarites have to say. I'll go a bit more into the species themselves in our next little chat. But right now we're quickly approaching the unsurveyed territory where the Tholians are apparently having a trouble, and we almost flew into the sun. And we'll just kind of steer our way there. On autopilot, the ship goes toward the center of the star cluster instead of directly to the mission.
We've arrived in 2268, and not a moment too soon. The Nakul are clearly out for blood. Tholians are quite xenophobic. They may feel the Federation is part of the problem here.
Well, I guess we gotta convince them otherwise.
We're being hailed by the Defiant. I'll remind you that our orders forbid us from telling them anything specific about recommend deflecting their questions until the situation here is resolved.
Okay, agreed.
Good to see you. We're in a real tight spot here. The Tholians were taking a serious beating when we reached the system. And the other ships opened fire on us the minute we dropped out of warp. Mind lending us a hand until we figure out what's going on?
Sure thing.
This was a Tholian colony fleet.
I mean, the Tholians are pretty tough as well, so I
We
can...
can take a little pressure off. We need to firm up our shields.
Hopefully sensor scan that I just used will help out a bit. Oh yeah, we also have tractor beam, which holds them more or less in place. It's useful right now, it's significantly less useful later on, or at least I find it that way. It's good if you're trying to focus on one particular shielding. I kind of wasted my opportunity there, but here's a good place to use it. Now it holds them in place for about 15 seconds. So you can probably outmaneuver them at that point and face a unshielded arc. Unfortunately, I don't quite have the angle I want. We will activate that, pin him in place, put a sensor scan on him, and fly over to an unprotected arc. And hopefully... oh, no, I couldn't get over in time. I don't quite have enough turning power. Oh well, we got him anyway. Oh? Apparently he's taken care of. Either that or we just did. I don't know why we lost target lock there. Alright, there's the USS Defiant. They, I believe, are a Constitution class, like the USS Enterprise. Or at least the first USS Enterprise. Yeah, that looks like a Constitution class. Now, the Constitution class is a pure cruiser. It's not quite as nimble as us, but it has a lot more defense. Well, damage resistance. Oh, someone's got a tractor beam on us. Now that clicking that you're probably hearing is me trying to readjust my shields. I can either click on the icon for my ship to kind of balance them, or I can click a specific facing to put more energy into that shield facing. And of course they put a tractor beam on me, so I can't circle around. And all of my shields are draining, because I'm balancing them, but they're also getting damaged at the same time. Zoom out a bit so we can see what's going on a bit better. Okay. So the USS Defiant took out that other ship, I suppose. Oh, no. I guess they can cloak. That kind of hurt. Repair us a little bit using engineering team.
Don't suppose you have any idea what's going on here? There's nothing on these aliens in our computers or why they'd attack the Tholians, or us for that matter.
You can answer really however you want, but I'm going to kind of deflect a bit.
Alright, do what you need to do. We'll talk about all of this when the shooting stops. Deal?
Deal.
I know it doesn't feel great keeping information from the Defiant's crew, but believe me, it's for the best. I'll monitor the situation here while you assist the Tholians. Do what you can to save them. Good luck.
Okay, let's prepare for an away mission. We've got our new Vulcan ensign there, Ensign
I
Solar.
found appropriate transport coordinates on the Tholian flagship. Hopefully you can convince them that we're not at fault here. If the Tholians go to war with the Federation now, it would be devastating on a galactic scale.
Alright, we'll keep an eye on things. Yeah, the Tholians are interesting. We're going to need to equip all of these environmental suits. And they look a bit silly, but they'll keep us safe. They don't have much armor, so we're going to have to be a bit careful. They are necessary, however. And I'll give her another hypo. Now, devices are basically just items that your bridge officers can use. I have them as well. Okay, now we need to activate the EV suit. And then we step on the transporter pad and beam over there. Now, if we turn our environmental suit off right now, sorry for interrupting, Daniels, we would die within a couple of seconds. Because we are not really made for this environment.
I'm detecting numerous knuckle life signs. More are on the way.
I'm gonna have to keep on the move because they have, or some Nakul have the ability to use some sort of injection that really will mess you up if you're not careful. Oh, they're still fighting. There we go, the Injector Ensign. Yeah, he can inject you with something that does damage over time and I think decreases your attack power. And we just got an accolade, which is an achievement-based system. Well, that's weird. That's not what the Tholians look like. Yeah. Those are Tholians. They're kind of crystalline spider-like aliens. In here, they don't need environmental suits, so that's pretty much what they look like. Now, when they're not on the ship, in this kind of environment, they actually need some sort of environmental suit as well, or else they'll crystallize. Although it doesn't seem to reduce their stats at all.
I doubt the Tholians are the way. I'm reading more incoming knuckle transporter signatures.
I'm not really using my abilities right now because these are just ensigns, which are the lowest rank of enemy. And we can't see Tarsi's face because it's behind this weird-looking helmet. They've somehow discovered the ship's self-destruct sequence. And there's 3 consoles we need to repair, I believe, so let's get to doing that.
Energy readings on the flagship are returning to normal. Whatever you did worked. The last remaining Tholians are close to your position, and more Nakul are on their way. I'd hurry if I were you.
Oh, I'm hurrying.
We've stopped the ship from detonating, but the Nakul. They've killed Tholian colonists and even hatchlings ruthlessly. What they've done here is an atrocity.
It is. Oh, there's a Tholian queen. Now, because we're near that crystal, we're taking radiation damage, which is just another type of damage. Oh, we're low on health, better use a hypo. And we'll talk to the Queen. Once condition red ends. There we go.
Humanoid command. Try to kill your kind. This is irrational. Explain.
We're not the Not Cool. We're from the United Federation of Planets.
Federation. Not cool. All humanoids are the same. Chaotic, irrational, peaceful, then not, roaring, then leave.
To be honest, I do agree with her on that, but we aren't the Not Cool.
Those you call not cool killed our people. Our children, all are dead. Our sisters must know. Leave now, Federation. Leave us to our final task.
Oh, maybe we can help this Tholian Queen.
You cannot help us. Too late. The hatchlings slaughtered. The colonists lost. Nothing can help in the face of this terror. We must send our message. Others will come. Leave now.
We've got enemy ships on an intercept course, including a dreadnought. We won't last long against a force like that.
Understood.
Continue to fight Nakul. Keep them from us while we contact our sisters. If you speak truly, you will not betray us.
We won't let you down. We aren't here to pick a fight with the Tholians. We're here to stop the Not Cool.
I've been monitoring the Tholian Queen's progress. She hasn't been able to send the signal to her people. Orders?
Well, we just got back, so I don't think she would be
Let's
able to
have
send
a
the
little
message.
chat. What's the situation here? Where did those alien ships come from? I'd like some straight answers for a change. And I don't need to know, right? I read you, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. That big alien ship is still heading our way. Let's focus on that.
Alright, sounds like a plan.
Here they come.
More of these guys, huh? I don't know what they're shooting at me, but it does seem to do quite a bit of damage. Now, while we're in combat, I'm going to explain a bit how weapons work. the closer you are to an enemy, the more damage you're gonna do, on average. I'm not sure what the explanation behind that is, but that's just how it works. There is a skill that you can upgrade in the skills menu. I'll put you in a tractor beam then. There's a skill later on that you can take that reduces the penalty that you get when you're at range. I'm not going to personally be using that because I tend to fight at longer ranges. Now, that only applies to energy weapons. Torpedoes don't have a range debuff because, well, they're hitting the enemy directly. They're not... their energy doesn't dissipate from range. And these... Okay, I'm going after these Tadari right now. They're weaker, but they still do damage. Quite a bit of it. So... Now we missed with that other torpedo. Now, this is kind of a rough fight early on. In fact, we're probably going to die in a minute. Because our heal is still on cooldown, and we're about half hull. Alright, we've evened the odds a little bit. Oh, we're at the edge of the map. We'll do evasive maneuvers here. Do a sensor scan. We're running dangerously low on health. I'm just going to ignore this for now. I can't keep dismissing it if it's just going to keep giving me back the same message. Actually, no. There we go. Get away from that explosion.
The alien dreadnought is concentrating fire on the Tholian flagship.
Uh-oh. Why is it doing that? Oh, yep, we're pretty much done. Oh well, you get to see what it's like to lose your ship. Defeated. And you can... Now, there should be damage history here, but for some reason it's not working. I'll dismiss that message. Now, we're on normal difficulty, so there's no real penalty for losing like that. If you're on a higher difficulty, there are two more, Advanced and Elite. It's quite actually deadly. You will get damage to your ship that you can either repair at a starbase, or you can get an item, I believe, and you can repair it while in sector space. And the damage that you take, I'm pretty sure it's just randomized, but it's more of a debuff than permanent damage. But they can stack up and become quite dangerous. I don't know where these guys got cloaking devices. Well, these Tadari frigates are really annoying. Now, Tractor Beam doesn't only hold them still, though. It does a little bit of damage over time. Although it's more used for holding ships in place. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to wait to do the strike and dip technique of looking for an unshielded arc. I'm just going to go at it. It's a bit annoying. Getting that message all the time, but I guess there's not much I can do about it. Oh, I hit him on the exposed arc, so that took him down quite a bit. And that's about it.
Federation, you have proven you are different, rational. This pleases us. We have sent word to our sisters. The Naku will pay. The Federation will not. Now, vengeance for the slaughter of a generation. Vengeance for our children.
The Queen's message has been sent through subspace and... Yes! The timeline is correcting itself. Good work. Now, we just need to help with... The Queen is going to full impulse. She's gonna ram the not cool dreadnought!
Alright, let's get out of here.
Our engines are still down! We can't escape!
Oh, what happened to the Defiant?
No. I'm afraid that this is their fate. This is one of the hardest things about being a temporal agent. We can only make the changes we have to make, not the ones we want.
There has to be something we can do, though.
I'm afraid there's not. History states that the Defiant went missing, only to be found here weeks later by the Enterprise. Though they're lost, we now know that they played an important role in keeping the Federation safe, in protecting the timeline. For what it's worth, I will be sure their heroism is included in my report.
Okay.
The Tholians will remember this as well. This encounter may lead them to be more inward-focused, avoiding conflicts with the Federation. For the time being. At the very least, they will know that it wasn't the Federation that was responsible for the destruction of their colony convoy.
That's not, Yeah, I guess we'll take that as answer. It's cold comfort to the 400 men and women on that ship. Alright, and that's that episode done. We'll speak with Daniels.
Captain Archer had similar concerns when I worked with him. We often disagreed, but in the end, we were able to work past our differences and do the right thing. I hope you and I can do the same. Leaving Defiant to her fate was a hard choice, but it saved untold billions of lives. That has to count for something.
Well, it does, because the timeline continues.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Alright, and that's all for this episode. Thanks for watching.